Teaching a child to read is a fulfilling and educational process, both for the parent and child. Whether you homeschool your kids or just want to give your child a head start, you can begin teaching your child to read at home. With the right tools and tactics, your child will be reading in no time. Part 1. Starting early. 1. Read to your child on a regular basis. As with all things, it's difficult to learn anything without exposure to it. Read books with stories they comprehend. At a young age this may lead you to read 3 to 4 small books a day. Books that combine other senses besides listening help your small child to comprehend the story as you read it. For example, read many books that have pictures, tactile pages, sounds, or have accompanying scents. Try reading them books that might slightly challenge their comprehension level but that have an interesting or engaging story. 2. Ask interactive question. Even before your child learns to read, they can learn reading comprehension. As you read stories to them aloud, ask them questions about the characters or the plot. For a toddler, these may be questions like, "Do you see the dog? What is the dog's name?" The questions can escalate in difficulty as the reading level does. Help to teach your child critical thinking skills by asking open-ended questions about stories. You might not hear complex verbal responses until your child is 4 or 5 years old, but ask away and be patient. 3. Make books easily accessible. Keep books low to the ground and in typical play areas so that your child begins to associate them with play activities. Pop-up books may not be the best option for young children. A fancy bookshelf may seem like the most attractive option, but until your child is in school, focus on the utilitarian purposes of book storage. Set up a reading space next to the bookshelf. Set some bean bags, pillows, and comfy chairs around to sit in while reading. The top of the bookshelf can hold cups and snacks for having while reading. 4. Set a good example. Show your child that reading is interesting and worthwhile by reading for yourself. Spend a minimum of 10 minutes a day reading when your child is around, so that they see you enjoying the activity on your own. Even if you are not an avid reader, find something to read. A magazine, the newspaper, or a cookbook all count. Soon they'll become interested in reading on their own, simply as a result of seeing you doing it too. 5. Get access to a library. This can be done in 2 ways. Create your own mini library at home by collecting dozens of books in your child's reading level, or make weekly trips to the local public library together to check out books. That being said, don't turn down a request to reread a favorite book just because it's already been read a dozen times. 6. Start to make word-sound associations. Before you even start getting into the alphabet and sound specifics, help your child recognize that the lines on the page are directly correlated to the words you are speaking. As you read aloud to them, point to each word on the page at the same time you say it. This will help your child grasp the pattern of words/lines on the page relating to the words you speak in terms of length and sound. 7. Flashcards are not all. Reading aloud to young children, particularly in an engaging manner, promotes emergent literacy and language development and supports the relationship between child and parent. In addition, it can promote a love for reading, which is even more important than improving specific literacy skills. Part 2. Teaching the basics. 1. Teach your child the alphabet. When your child has developed word awareness, begin breaking down words into individual letters. Although the alphabet song is the most classic means of teaching the alphabet, try getting creative. Explain each of the letters with their name, but don't worry about trying to incorporate the sounds the letters make yet. Capital letters account for only 5% of all letters in writing English. Therefore, pay more attention to teaching the lowercase letters. Lowercase letters are far more important in developing reading skills. Try making each of the letters out of Play-Doh, playing a toss game, where the child tosses a beanbag or ball onto a specific letter on the floor, or fishing for foam letters in the bathtub. These are all interactive games that encourage development on multiple levels. 2. Develop phonemic awareness. There are 44 speech sounds created by the 26 letters in our alphabet, and each sound must be taught paired with its letter, S, counterpart. Focus on a single letter/part/sound at a time. Avoid confusion and build a solid foundation by working at a steady pace through all of the speech sounds. Use games similar to those used when teaching the alphabet, that combine critical thinking on the part of the child in order to determine sound/letter correlations. See the aforementioned list for ideas, but substitute in sounds. It is easier for children to develop phonemic awareness when words are broken down into their smallest parts. This can be done with the clapping game, clapping out each syllable in a word, or by sounding out words into their individual letters. 3. Teach your child rhymes. Rhyming teaches phonemic awareness and letter recognition, in addition to the most basic English words. Read nursery rhymes to your child, and then eventually make lists of easy-to-read rhymes such as mop, top, flop, pop, and cop. Your child will begin to see the patterns of sounds that are made when certain letters are combined, in this case, the sound OP makes. 4. Teach your child to read using explicit phonics. Studies have shown that readable vocabulary dramatically increases when taught, breaking each word into the smallest parts, and building them up into a full word, explicit phonics. Help your child to begin reading by having them sound out each individual letter without looking at the overall word first. 5. Have your child practice decoding. Classically known as sounding out words, decoding is when a child reads a word by making the sounds of each individual letter, rather than trying to read the whole word at once. Reading is broken up into two primary parts, decoding/reading a word, and comprehending its meaning. Don't expect your child to recognize and comprehend words just yet, have them focus on decoding and sounding out word parts. Decoding aloud is typically easier for the child, and you, to learn how to say the word. Have them break it into parts with clapping if necessary. 6. Do not worry about grammar. Preschoolers, kindergartners, and first graders are very concrete in the way they think and cannot handle complicated concepts. 7. Build up an archive of sight words. Certain words in the English vocabulary are spoken often, but don't follow the typical phonics rules. These words are easier to memorize by shape association than by sound, and are therefore known as sight words. Some sight words include they, she, and, said, and they.